Let's watch some videos.
The topic I'd like to talk about today is the biggest enemy to your business is the short-term sale. So you want to look for the long-term money. So I'll go ahead and just dive into this. So in my opinion, here's what you got for the short-term sale. That might be a one-off client where you show up and you cut it once in the spring and that's all they want. In my opinion, that time could be better utilized advertising, but those aren't bad if you're looking to pick up some extra income. But that is not what I mean by the short-term sale. Now, what I mean is, you'll notice in a lot of these lawn groups, now I'm all for raising your price, but you'll notice in a lot of these lawn groups, they'll throw out a picture and they'll say, how much would you charge? And there's always somebody that says, I'd charge $400. You're going to charge a shitload of money, yeah. Okay, and it's like a bush or mowing or whatever, and it's going to be some ridiculous price that just doesn't make sense. Now, what you have to remember is that actually might be what they're charging. It might not. There's a lot of, make myself look like something I'm not on the internet, which was my whole point in my last video that I made was, dude, you just need to be real. Once you're real with yourself, then you can actually grow. You can admit your problems. Once you can say, I've made this mistake, I've done this or that, then you can actually legitimately grow. Let's just assume his price is real. Now, say you charge, like for me, that bush, I said, I charge $50 to $100, and I can stand confident by that. And they said, well, you need to have minimums. Okay, I fully understand what you're saying. And I do have minimums set. Now, what needs to be remembered, and the same thing when I say price lawns at $50 minimum, like to me, $50 is the new $25. Okay, the new $20 is $50. I'm also in my opinion, a city that never really hit a recession, but I come from a small town, so I can also understand all the struggle there and the mindset there and how things are. There's a lot of people that just don't pay for crap. So, what you have to really understand is that anywhere you're at, the U.S. is a big place. And while it's got this overall economy that we're all living in, there are microeconomies. Just like you would have in landscaping, you have a microclimate for a plant where if you have a plant that's in full sun, and that's what it's supposed to be in, and you put it in full shade, it's going to die. The same thing goes with your business and the pricing. So you really have to find out, one, what you need to charge according to your expenses and what you need to profit. And of course, fill out and see what you can get. If you can get more, I'm not going to tell you not to get more, but I will dive into that more in a second. But if you can get more, go ahead and get more. But really, your price first, before anything else, needs to be going, does this pay for my expenses and give me profit? Because if it does, then you're at a formula where you can actually grow. You can make some money. So you're making money, you're breaking even. Then you up your price a little bit, then you can grow. Now, where it becomes an issue to the long-term sale, if you rake out your prices so high, you just, the first time you meet them and you're estimating on this bush or their lawn or whatever it is, and you give them this massive price. The problem with that then becomes they get buyer's remorse. They don't feel they got their money's worth. So there is a comfort zone. Make sure you're making money, paying all your expenses, raising up a little more so that you can have room to grow. But if it's going to cost you $10 to do it, you're not going to be able to charge 1,000 times what it's worth. Like, just be fair. If you are fair with people, they will talk your name up. Now, with referrals, you want a referral machine going because you got good work. I'll go ahead and say this real fast so I don't give you the wrong impression, because I'm not telling you to do cheap work. Don't do cheap work. You're going to go out of business. So what I am saying is there's different microeconomies. Your price is going to be different than somebody else online, although it can be similar. Make sure you're charging enough. Don't undercharge. And if you don't want the referral system working backwards on you, where you have people saying your name because, hey, he's cheap, use him, he's real cheap. You don't want that, okay? Because if they're just passing your name out because you're cheap, you're going to get a lot of work and not make any money and not grow. Which, I'll be honest with you, was like the first 2 years of my business. I was like, I'm so busy. I'm doing so good. When I talk about this stuff, it's not just something I saw it on the internet and I'm going to repeat it. No, I talk about the mistakes I've had in my business and put them in a way like, hey, this is how I've overcome it. This is what I see. Just saying this was a red flag in my business, so not trying to say I know everything about business, because I don't, but if I can give you a tip, I can, and I like doing that. If you can give me a tip, hey dude, I listen, because I'm trying to avoid problems just like you are. Let's get back to the point. The bid on the bushes, they said 350, and they're going and they're cutting it once, and they'll make good money once. Now if that's their market price, they're making good money there. That's awesome, and they should absolutely charge that. Now, like I said, with a microeconomy, you got different economies. Even in my city, there's neighborhoods here. You can be on one section of town, and your prices are going to be drastically different than the section over here. So I avoid certain areas and drive an extra 10 miles to have my route. Now, I live in this microeconomy, and I drive 10 miles to this microeconomy so that I can have better money. And a lot of people would say, build it around your house. I don't want to build it around my house. I'm building around this money. But here's the thing. I don't do a one-time service. So if I'm trimming bushes, I'm not going to come once. I'm actually going to come multiple times. I'm going to sell them on seeding their lawn, taking care of their lawn, mulching, whatever it might be, fall cleanups. So that $350 job for somebody that they might only get once because of buyer's remorse, or like I said, maybe it is fair market price. I don't know. You have to dictate that yourself. You have to figure that out. You have to fill out your clients. Every area is a little different, but the first thing, cover your numbers first. If you're covering your expenses and then making some money, you're in the green. You're good to go. Now, where that price was $350, I'm gonna get lawn service for the next 3 or 4 years. I'm going to get their mulch. I'm going to get their leaves. I'm going to get some referrals from them, but let's just talk about just their property right now. After that lifespan in the client, 3 or 4 years on a property my size, the average client over 3 or 4 years is going to be about $5,000 to $10,000. Or I can do $350, overcharge, never get the rest of that money. So what I mean is, your business, you are mowing, you are a reoccurring business. You are not. If you are a landscape installation company, that's different. You're coming one time, charge a premium, do an awesome job. The same thing goes for mowing. Give them an awesome job, but charge accordingly. But also remember, you're going for repeat income. You don't want to burn them. You don't want to leave a bad taste in their mouth. You're coming back, and you're coming back, and you're coming back, and you're coming back. Where a landscaping company makes their money in one big lump sum, you're making a lot of little money over a long period of time and making a big lump sum. So it breaks down the same. You can make a lot of little money, or you can make one big job of a lot of money and make the same amount of money. It's up to you. But your prices need to be at a situation where you can actually scale up. So I've talked about having employees. I had employees every year. This is the first year I've been solo for most of the year. And I'm making more money now. My sales are higher now than they ever have been, which is ridiculous to think, because I was running like a chicken with my head cut off, not charging right. Okay? So don't undercharge. Don't overcharge. There's a balance, a fine line. Okay? There's a fine line to everything. You don't want to overcharge and you don't want to undercharge. If you are undercharging, you'll fall stagnant. If you want nicer things, nicer equipment, nicer trucks, this and that, you have to charge accordingly. That's just my opinion on that. And like I said, if you want to up your prices, all that ties in with being confident and upselling your service and positioning it right. You need to get the phone to ring enough that you don't feel like you're in scarcity. You're scared. You're broke. So microeconomy, the small town I grew up in, or Tulsa. Tulsa's a big city. Tulsa's got a lot of people, a lot of money. Microeconomy is completely different. The small town I grew up in, tiny little crap hole town, you got fast food or factory work, but all of them, living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm not saying you can't run a business in a small town, but what you get in Lark City a lot is a lot of people actually borrowing mowers from their brother, sister, neighbor, aunt, uncle, whatever, going mowing their yard and giving it back. Like, they're too broke to even buy a mower. Now, that could be a case where you're like, well, that's a perfect scenario for me to come in. No, dude, like, my wife was in the hospital last year I was there. My grass was like this high. Johnson grass, nasty. She was in the hospital for like 3 weeks. Johnson grass up this high, because it was like another 2 weeks before we got around to do anything about it. And some tweaker came by and said $30, and I said, okay. Now that I am in this service, I feel sick that I allowed him to do that, because, dude, he was out there all day. I was like, well, he said $30. Your customer is going to do the same thing to you. So if you go to that bush and you say, well, $30, and it's a $350 bush, they're going to go, well, he said $300. So it goes both ways. Not saying anybody's right or wrong, but fill out your market, your specific market, what you can charge, but try to get the repeat business. Once you have the repeat business, that makes you a lot more. I talked about the one client, how much I made off them. I also get referrals off of them. So one client might actually make you 100 grand over a duration of time. You need to take care of these people. They need to feel that they got their money's worth. So if you're going to charge a very high price, you need to deliver an awesome service that's unbeatable, just high quality. So really, I mean, that's, you either charge a low price and a low quality service, or you charge a high price and a high quality service. How you want to run your company, I don't judge you either way. I've been on both ends of these spectrums, and I have properties on both ends of these spectrums. I know where I want to shift my attention to, but it doesn't mean you can't make money on either side of that. People get caught up in the thought that their business model is the only business model. The way you feel and the way I feel and the way we run our business, it's all going to be dependent on who you are and who I am, this and that. So the main thing to remember is you can take tips, take the best tips from everybody you see, from whoever, whether you spent money on it or not, take the best tips from them and apply it to your business. Now, it might not be something that you can apply to your business. You don't have to take everything. Every business is different from person to person, but there are a lot of similarities, whether you're servicing a low dollar client in a terrible microeconomy, or you're servicing high dollar clients in a high dollar economy. The overall service is the same. How it works, how it functions, how it's billed, all that can be the same. The price might be different, the quality might be different. Like, I saw a lawn yesterday, and it's like stuff I used to do. Like, I used to show up, and there would be grass up to here. And I'm like, well, I'm going to knock this down. Now I went weekly with everybody, and it's like, you know, if it's at 6 inches, I'm like, oh, God, this is going to suck. It's all relative to what I'm used to and what I'm doing. And I show up, and if it gets to 6 inches, I'm like, oh, man, I don't even want to mow this. I don't want to do it. I'm picky now. For a very long time, I was knocking out tall stuff. So if you're in the beginning of your business and that's you, that's fine. Get in where you fit in, start making money, start hustling like crazy. Do what you got to do to get the ball rolling, and then you can get picky. But in the beginning, like, try to build it around what you want, but know that you're going to take stuff you don't want to take. And that's all experimenting and finding out what you do like, because what you think you like, what you think you want to do, might not be the right fit for your business.